Hello again, it is I. Today we'll be talking about my second theory on Tumblr, which is the Two Knights theory, or the Roaring Knights theory. It is a sort of continuation of the chess theory, which is on YouTube, you should go check it out, but you'll be fine without it. First of all, let us talk about the knights. As stated in my chess theory, I believe there are two knights, the same as there are two knight pieces in chess. I believe that one of the knights is the Roaring Knight, which is the presumed main villain of the Deltarune prophecy. They are a force that opens up fountains and supposedly aims to bring the roaring into motion. I believe the Roaring Knight is Noelle's mother, Mayor Holiday. The other knight, I believed, hasn't been promoted yet. The new knight, Chris Dreamer, is on their way to become a knight. Before I begin explaining about the knights, I do believe I need to set out the three overarching plots of Deltarune. The first plot is the prophecy, the main plot of the game. Three heroes set on dark world adventures with their goal to stop the roaring, as explained by Ralsei. The second plot is Chris's possession, coupled with WD Gaster. They are both interconnected by the survey program / Gunner Maker. This plot will explore the motives of Gaster and the mysterious interloper who put us into Chris's body. It will no doubt be integrated into Deltarune's prophecy plot. And the third plot is the disappearance of December Holiday, and maybe coupled with the Snowgrave plot. It's the plot of the lost girl's disappearance. As you know, Noelle isn't a part of the prophecy, yet she seems to be one of the most important characters in the game. She appeared in the Fun Gang concept art made by Toby Fox in 2011. And the entire Spamton Sweepstakes event is related mostly about her and her missing sister. If you have noticed, the prophecy and Chris's possession both are interconnected together, but for some reason Noelle's story about her missing sister isn't. She simply isn't a part of the prophecy, the main game, and yet she is set up to be very important. This is why I believe that Mayor Holiday will be the Roaring Knight. Her motives would be the perfect line sewing the third plot with the others, the line that makes December's disappearance not only just a mysterious secret side story. For a good reason, nobody expects the Roaring Knight to simply be a force of destruction, whose goal is to bring upon the roaring. This simply isn't Toby's writing style. Now I need to explain what I think her motives are. We can already figure out that Noelle's mother isn't a good parent. She's strict and she's cold. Her own daughter fears her to some extent. If you want to learn more about Mayor Holiday's parenting, I will link an awesome analysis video made by Dorkt in the comments. It seems that Mayor Holiday took very poorly to her daughter's disappearance. While Rudy remains an excellent father to Noelle despite all the hardships, Mayor Holiday seems to have taken a great mental toll. This is all speculation, however. Mayor Holiday might have always been a strict, cold parent, but I think it started somewhere. As you may know, Asgore was police chief until he was fired from the force by Mayor Holiday and replaced with Undyne as the chief. We know that the mayor controls the police, who are supposedly useless as she keeps crime away single-handedly, so she must have had a good reason for firing Asgore. This is why I believe she took a great mental toll to Des's disappearance. I believe that during the time that Des went missing, Asgore led the case to find her, but with absolutely zero clues and evidence, he dropped the case. The mayor, who was in a state of furious denial, fired him from the force and put Undyne in, while Rudy understood why Asgore did that and forgave him. Now, Toriel may or may not have divorced him due to this, but there's a good chance things simply didn't work out for them. Years later, the events of the game, Mayor Holiday, still distraught, learned by somebody about Des's whereabouts, which I believe is in a dark world in the bunker, where she went exploring with Chris and the others and never returned. Along with the information that Des is in some dark world, she learned how to open dark fountains. Her willpower and hope to save her long-lost daughter made her open dark fountains, while being manipulated by somebody to do certain things, like appoint King as ruler of the Card Kingdom. Also, side note here, if you take my theory into consideration, then Asgore and December Holiday are also good candidates for the Knight as to weave the third plot with the two others, but I just believe that Mayor Holiday makes more sense here. Now we will talk about the mayor's manipulation and WD Gaster's involvement. I believe that the somebody manipulating Mayor Holiday is none other than our beloved character Gaster. Of course, assuming that Gaster is behind the survey program, which I just wholeheartedly believe. Judging from the mysterious tweets, he seems to have stricken a deal with us. You know, we, the player, get a fun story, while he gets something in return. His goal throughout the game, I believe, is to make the story entertaining for us. And how is he doing this? By giving us a main villain in the form of the Knight. I believe the prophecy which was foretold by time and space was fabricated by Gaster and told to Ralsei. He made this so we, the player, have a plot to follow. I believe his ultimate goal is to be freed from whatever dark place he is trapped in. And for that to happen, he needs to set out the Roaring. By banishing the Angel's Heaven with the soul, we free him. Now, this speculation was greatly inspired by Spooky Dude's theory about the ending of Deltarune. I will link it in the comments, and please go give it a watch. I believe that he is onto something here. In summary, just like with us, the player, Gaster promised Mayor Holiday something that isn't entirely false. That December is trapped somewhere in a dark world. The mayor begins opening up dark fountains to find her, while fulfilling Gaster's end of the deal. You know, being the main villain, appointing King as ruler, and ultimately bringing the Roaring into motion. Also, if Rudy dies, I believe this will be a sort of breaking point for Mayor Holiday, where she reveals herself to be the Knight in Chapter 5. And finally, we will move to the new Knight. If you have knowledge about chess, or have seen my previous theory, you know that pawns can become promoted to higher ranking pawns. I believe that this will happen to Chris. Snowgrave / Weirdroot or not, Chris seems to loathe us. They do not want us controlling their body, and actively fight against our control. Following the second plot, Chris's possession, I believe that Chris's ultimate goal is to no longer be a pawn to us, and instead become a knight. And how will they do that? By getting stronger. You may have noticed that every time a dark fountain is sealed, Chris and the gang become more powerful. They advance a level, become stronger, and gain more HP. Now, Chris is a smart cookie here. They probably planned creating a TV-themed dark world since Chapter 1's ending. You know, they ate pie so Toriel has to make a new one. They slashed tires so Susie can stay over, and plugged the TV. Now, also, people believe that Chris slashed the tires to get Undyne to come over and prove to her that Dark Worlds are real, but I don't think so because talking to Undyne about Dark Worlds is purely optional. Chris wants to have a fun adventure with Susie. Chris wants to reconnect with their mother. But above all, they want to get stronger, gain more level. With a level high enough, they will be powerful enough to take back their control in the Dark World. Also, this gives them an actual motivation in the Snowgrave route. You know, they want to get strong as fast as possible to get rid of us. I believe that this will happen at the very end of Chapter 5. After the Roaring Knight is defeated, Chris / the player seal the Dark Fountain. Then, Chris becomes powerful enough to get rid of us, prompting Gaster to take us back to the vessel and appoint Chris as the new main villain of our story, the new Knight. No, in concept art of the prophecy cutscene, Susie and Ralsei are named accordingly to their portrayals in the prophecy, while the human is simply labeled the human, not Chris. Perhaps they aren't the human in the prophecy, but we are. Also, if the Roaring Knight isn't killed in Chapter 5, I do believe she isn't beyond redemption. Although she is a bad person overtaken by grief, I believe she will help during the Roaring that she inadvertently started, and maybe even reunite with her missing daughter. So yeah, that's another theory. I really do hope you like this theory as much as you like the other one, and I do hope it gave you something to think about. Also, I really do want to give a shout out to Halfbreed Chaos and Dorked for inspiring me to actually put these videos up on the internet. Also, I would very much like to give a shout out to WeaselWeaselW for commenting on my previous theory and discussing it with me. Thank you.